everyone. Welcome back to All Kinds of Advice podcast. For today's episode, we are going to be talking about Diddy. Ooh, child. Like everything is coming down, crashing on him. So we're going to be talking about this today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Let's keep it growing and flowing. So I seen this story, posted on Shade Room. It's posted now on a number of media outlets. It's allegedly the Diddy's home was raided, his Miami home, and then also his home in LA was raided as well. And it's being said that his two children, two sons, were also detained as well. So and then what was super appalling about the situation, he was nowhere to be seen. So a lot of people are like speaking about this online, and they're saying like, oh my goodness, like imagine his sons were like detained or arrested and he's nowhere to be found. They were kind of mentioning that he flew the scene, and then has his kids out here like sort of falling for or taking the blame, perhaps for his crime. Like he kind of left them for dead in a sense. That's what people were alluding to. But I have to say that I do feel sorry for the children. If Diddy is guilty, we don't know if he is. This is all like allegedly. But if he is guilty of the crime, in terms of why they raided him, it says on here that it was due to sex trafficking allegations. And this is the allegation, right? We can't say that this is true or it's not true. We have to remain objective. But that's pretty much why his home was raided, this past today, Monday. And I'm just like, wow, this is like a lot. Like Diddy has been going through a lot. Like he's had a number of lawsuits that has turned up against him. Cassie's lawsuit being, one of the biggest ones. And he had like a number of things. Never in my wildest dreams would I think that, his home would have been invaded. But it's just really it's shocking to see. Like I really didn't think that his home was going to be raided. I know that maybe due to the lawsuits he probably was going to pay out even more money, but it's crazy to have like his kids sort of taking the downfall for some of these things. But I guess we have to kind of see how it's going to unfold. They are detained. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're guilty of anything or that they're going to be convicted. But we know the cops are going to be super heavy hand in when dealing with them. They're going to question them a lot. So then we're gonna see like if where their loyalty stands, if it is with their father, or like if they're going to say something. Maybe they're trained on not to give out any information, and perhaps they don't know anything at all. It could also be the case. But and then a lot of speculations, a lot of rumors were going online. People were saying that Diddy was headed to one of those islands. I think it's like Cape Verde or something like that. Let me know if I'm mispronouncing it. But he was headed to one of those islands on a private jet. They were saying that that particular island, they don't have extradition laws, meaning that if he was to sort of stay in that country, he doesn't have to come back to the US, because that particular place, they don't have laws where they would have to give up a fugitive to the US type of thing. Like, so if you were guilty of a crime and you sort of went there, there's no laws in place where that island would have to give you up to the US type of thing. But then that was all rumors. Like, I feel like stories are being like super fabricated, and it's being blown out of proportion in a lot of ways, because I seen that story online. And then recently, before I came and to do the podcast, I seen that they stopped him when he was on like at the Miami airport. So he's apparently not in the island. That's sort of what is going around. And I'm not saying that the things that he has been accused of, I'm not picking sides in regards to this. Of course, my sympathy goes out to some of the victims, for what they have experienced allegedly. But then at the same time, I feel like, my goodness, like, I feel like they're really, really coming down really, really hard on him and investigating him. And some people might say, like, this is warranted, for the things that he allegedly did. Why should they not come down heavy handed on him? But I feel like if they're going to involve his kids, I feel like that's kind of crossing the line. If they're not guilty, like, why involve them? Why, sort of ruin their life and that sort of thing? And maybe this is how investigation works. Like, they talk to everybody, that's like your family members, or anyone that's, your small knit circle. Perhaps, that's the procedure when it comes to like investigating and that sort of thing. And it says like the federal government is what raided his home. Like, I guess the detectives and investigators that work for the federal government, they're the ones that have, an ongoing investigation. I personally feel, in my personal opinion, they have been watching him for a long time. A lot of people are saying like Cassie opened up, the ant's nest, and, she sort of paved the way for a lot of these things that, are happening to him presently, and that sort of thing. I'm going to read you, some of the comments that, people had mentioned online. So somebody said here, they said the way they're treating his sons is entirely racialized. I don't remember them putting the kids in it when they raided, white households for similar reasons. It says Christian and Justin are good boys who are looking after their sisters at home. So they're someone had mentioned that online and that sort of thing. So people have mixed. Some people are being empathetic and sympathetic, towards Diddy and his children, because again, we everyone, before the law is innocent until proven, guilty. But I feel like, oh my goodness, like, I feel like this is gonna be his downfall. I don't feel like he could come back from this. I'm not, again, not picking sides, but we really have to see how the story unfolds. But I feel like a lot of things are being fabricated online, and just blown out of proportion. But then again, a lot of people are saying like he did a lot of evil things and this is his payday. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see. And someone else says on here, damn, Cassie done messed this man's life up all the way up, same thing I'm saying too. Like, she opened up the ant's nest, and now, they are sort of investigating him, like, immensely, I would say. And then someone else says, I wish Kim was here for her kids, and that sort of thing. And another person said, this is the year of accountability. A lot of people are going down. It started with R. Kelly. We don't know who else is, over time is going to go down, because I feel like 2024 is the year of accountability. People are coming out and speaking their truth. People are coming out and, speaking about the trauma that they have experienced, even if it was like, a decade ago. This is, the era of coming out and exposing, a lot of the things that happens, in the industry that are sort of, brushed under the rug or hidden. But let me know in the comment section below, what is your perception on the whole thing? A lot of people, are going into a frenzy online and saying like this man like was trying to run away and leave his kids behind. But, it looks like he got stopped because he was headed to the airport allegedly. But let me know what are your thoughts? Like, was it fair for the kids to be detained? Do you feel like the kids are involved in some of the things that, Diddy has been accused of? Or do you feel like, they should just primarily focus on Diddy and leave the kids out of it? Let me know your thoughts. But that's my thoughts for the in regards to this whole situation. It's a mess. It's crazy. But let's see how it unfolds. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode. This was all for today for All Kinds of Advice podcast, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao.